Hi, I'm Holly Andrews, Integrative Nutrition Health Coach and Executive Wellness Coach. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the kitchen. If you are watching this when this video posts, we are a little less than a week away from Thanksgiving here in the US. And if you watched last week's video, I shared with you a wonderful festive twist on some classic flavors to provide a really lovely light dessert in my cranberry orange chia pudding. And this week I'm going to share with you a great side dish that brings together fall root vegetables, some maple flavor, some spices to make a really nice hearty side dish that is not necessarily full of simple carbs and simple sugars that a lot of our traditional Thanksgiving side dishes have. So this might be a good one to substitute for something else or to add in and try with your friends and family this Thanksgiving. And that is my maple roasted root vegetables with thyme and pecans. So here in the South, we love our pecans and we say pecans, not pecans, just FYI. But this, again, super simple recipe, doesn't take much time, and I can't wait to share it with you. The thing I love about this recipe is just how nutrient dense it really is. All the good stuff, we've got the carrots and parsnips that I have, sliced into sticks. They are full of like beta carotene and fiber. We've got sweet potatoes for some more fiber and some natural sweetness. We have red onions, which are full of antioxidants, and that maple syrup for some natural sweetness without the refined sugars, and some spices. So we've got thyme, obviously. If you have fresh thyme, I would use fresh thyme. I did not have any right now as my garden is kind of gone to sleep, so I use dried thyme, but if you have the fresh, I would use it. You can even use it for a garnish when you're serving this. And I also used some cinnamon, just a sprinkle of turmeric, and some salt and pepper to taste. So all kinds of really good, hearty, nutrient-dense vegetables and spices in this dish that are gonna make it, again, a perfect side dish for your Thanksgiving feast. So let's talk about making this recipe. So to make this recipe, I just chopped up my vegetables. I had some carrots from the farm and they're kind of little, so the recipe calls for 2 large carrots peeled and sliced into sticks. So I just used the bunch of carrots that I had. I figured that probably equates to 2 large carrots, maybe 2.5, but who cares at this point, right? We're roasting them. The measurements don't have to be exact. So peeled and sliced the carrots from the farm into sticks. Also did the same thing with my parsnips, sliced them into sticks. My sweet potato got from the farm. I peeled it and cubed it. And then I had my red onion that I attempted to slice into small quarters, if you will. So those are the vegetables. It didn't take me very long to do all of that, maybe 10 minutes to do the peeling and chopping, no big deal. Put those all into a mixing bowl. Kind of tried to break up the onion a little bit, but once I had everything in my mixing bowl, then I drizzled a tablespoon of olive oil, a tablespoon of maple syrup over the vegetables, and then I sprinkled on my spices. So it's a teaspoon of thyme, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a quarter teaspoon of turmeric, and then salt and pepper to taste. And once I had all of that, I just tossed the vegetables so that everything was coated. Once I had that done, I obviously had my oven preheated. I preheated it to 400 degrees and I lined a baking tray with parchment paper. So had everything ready to go. Once my vegetables were tossed, coated, everything looked lovely, I dumped the vegetables onto my baking tray and popped them into my 400 degree oven for 25 minutes. While those were roasting, I got a half a cup of pecans. I had whole halves, if you will, whole pecan halves that, again, I buy from a local farm. They come here every November, December, and honestly, we are really lucky to have them this year because of Hurricane Helene wiped out a good chunk of the nut farm's crop and almost took out the delivery truck. So I'm really grateful to have them here with us this year. But anyway, I got the pecans. I have half a cup of pecan halves, and then I just gave them a rough chop. Just use my knife, but if you have a different method that you like to use for chopping your pecans, or if you don't like pecans, walnuts works as well. And obviously if you can't do nuts, then just don't add them, leave them out. But gave them a rough chop. And when the vegetables had been in for 25 minutes and that timer went off, I pulled them out. I sprinkled the pecan pieces on top of the vegetables, popped them back into the oven for 5 minutes. And what that did was just finished caramelizing, cooking the vegetables, and toasted those pecans in the oven. So 30 minutes total in the oven, pulled them out, and they've been cooling, and I can't wait to show them to you. All right, here is our finished side dish, the maple roasted root vegetables with thyme and pecans, and it smells really good. So I'm just gonna grab a few so that you can see what it looks like plated. And honestly, if you don't like some of the vegetables that are on here, pick your own vegetables. It's just root vegetables. So anything seasonal, you could do butternut squash or another kind of squash. You know, you could do carrots are pretty much a mainstay, but you could even do like a rutabaga, I don't know. But whatever fall root vegetables are your jam, then that is what I would recommend you use. All right, friends, here we go. Here is our beautiful side dish for Thanksgiving, and I hope that you enjoy it. I know that we are going to love these vegetables as kind of a healthier take on a Thanksgiving side dish, but still keeping with traditional flavors and themes in the maple and the cinnamon and the thyme. So if you are celebrating Thanksgiving in the US next week, happy Thanksgiving. I hope that it is a time of gratitude and connection with friends and family. So come back next week when I have a detoxifying soup recipe for you to help you kind of take a breather after the heavy Thanksgiving feast before we head into December. So until then, I'm Holly Andrews, and I believe that you can heal your stress from the inside out.